go. It's an absolute pleasure. Jeslen Mishelle, great to have you back in Power Slap. You're a big personality, and I was able to watch your fight, and I thought it was entertaining throughout the entire thing. So congrats on getting another fight. How excited are you to get back up there and take on a debutante in Isabel and welcome her to the Power Slap stage?
Thank you, first of all. I'm so happy to be on your podcast. I think you guys are super cool and entertaining, and you picked up the Power Slap folks who are all very unique. And I don't know about big personality. I feel like I'm rather subdued. It comes from generations passed down where we had to stay silent, but that's something I've been always working on putting out there. But I think what's different with me is I'm just real, honest. So I don't know about big. I just do what I want. But you asked me a bunch of questions right there, so I am very excited. I think it's really cool. I feel like I'll be a lot better prepared. Last year was rough, and this is a new year, so it's already starting off better. And what'd you say? Bringing on a debutante.
Yeah, just first-time competitor.
Yeah, I always thought that word meant something else. Okay.
Maybe.
First-time competitor. Yeah, I mean, cool. I don't know who she is.
Okay. Awesome. I had the opportunity to meet her at the training camp in December. She was part of the combine that they did.
Nice.
So, yeah, right. She's originally from Australia or New Zealand, one of those two countries. Girl that's kind of been around a bit. I mean, she has some MMA experience just like yourself.
Cool.
Before we move forward, just give me a quick recap. How was your experience with Taylor? Was it everything you thought it was? Was it more? Was it less?
With the whole experience or with my opponent?
Just the whole experience.
Oh, the whole experience was exactly what I would have thought it would have been. Maybe a little less, just because it required a lot less preparation than like an MMA fight does. So I always think it's going to be like, oh, I got to prepare and use this whole week. And, in a fight, you're cutting weight and you're miserable. And getting to the weight cut was like the hardest part always. So it's not, I love the weight class I get to be in now. I don't have to do anything. So I think it was less, it felt like less in that there wasn't as much of that kind of preparation. I think I could have more preparation as far as more training, which I didn't do last time. But I think that the company is super cool as far as the way they take care of everybody. We got our athletic bags. They take care of you in the back. It's very organized, really professional, obviously.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, the Crow sport definitely keeps growing. But what are you doing this time to be better prepared?
I'm actually going to try slapping things before. And, I don't want to miss any location of the proper placement and even risk any kind of DQ or anything. So I think that the power is there. I'm definitely going to be stronger, but I don't know how much stronger I can get without gaining more muscle strength, like muscle mass. And I'm already right at the weight thing. So I could definitely lose a bit of fat, get more plumped, which I intend to in the next few weeks, and just have a better accuracy.
For sure. Are you training every day right now?
Yes, in my own ways. Not just for that, but other types of training.
Okay. Are you still training for MMA?
Not as much. No, I've actually sprained my ankle back in December, and it's still sprained. I mean, it's not as bad, but I can't run or flex it yet.
Gotcha. So you're still kind of healing up a little bit.
Yeah, and I did have some pro wrestling gigs and matches that I had to do. I think might have re-aggravated it a bunch.
Gotcha. I had no idea that you did pro wrestling. Very cool.
Desiderata. WWE gave me a tryout back in 2017. They said they liked me and one other girl, but they didn't know where to put us. They eventually signed her. She stayed on for 2 years, kind of as a faction. She was a boxer from one of the islands. And then they're just like, we don't know what kind of character, what we do for you. And then it just fell by the wayside. But I did end up doing a lot of extra work, like all the extra people that they have, like sometimes security guards that they slam on the ground. Those are pro wrestlers from like the independent circuit. So extra work on SmackDown and Raw, lots on the West Coast. It was a lot of fun.
Very
Body
cool.
slamming queen. Hello, where do you get that?
Well, you're a girl of many talents. It's very great to see.
To me, it's all the same umbrella. So, I mean, starting out as an entertainer, like I was an athlete as a kid, but I really just wanted to be an actor. And then I loved dance, and I took myself to circus school, but I didn't like it. I still walk on stilts, it's about it. But I did a lot of performance art, and then I stumbled into pro wrestling. I never shared this story with you. Stumbled in a pro wrestling show on the, like, it was like a backyarder type of event. Now I'd be like, these people suck, but to me it was like, whoa, there's costumes, there's music, there's stunts, there's athleticism, but there's a story, and they're engaging in the audience. And that was like my favorite thing, was that they were engaging, like the audience was bantering, and that has always been my favorite thing about pro wrestling, was taking the mic and then talking shit or whatever. But so I do miss it a lot. But then COVID happened and nobody was doing shows. But because of COVID, we do a lot more videos and camera shows. So I still do that. Camera shows, like shows on camera live, small ones. But then that's when I focused on fighting. It's because of COVID.
Very cool. Well, let me ask you this. Power slap fighting. You've got sport and you got entertainment on this side. Where does power slap fit in that mix?
I'm not going to say it's not a sport, because it does require, if like the better you are as a type of athlete or in certain physical fitness, the better you will be at power slap. But I feel like, I don't know, as a, like even as a kid, in being a junior Olympian in track and field, I feel like you always had like clear rules. And not saying power slaps rules are clear, they very much are, but there's so many gray areas which you can't, the human eye can't see, and you have to make those decisions right away, you know. So I find that to be challenging for a sport. But then for entertainment, power slap slides over to that side, because your matches are so short. Like, you're only up there for 3 slaps. Like, what is that, 5 minutes? And so you want people to see you and know who you are. So you gotta like let them know in a short amount of time. And I feel like if people like being in front of an audience, then they're going to be a natural at that. Whereas a lot of athletes that just do sports aren't as good in front of the crowd. Or let me take a small example. I always say pro wrestling is far more challenging than MMA fighting. In any fight, I've never been as nervous as I was in pro wrestling. Because in an MMA fight, I was prepared. I knew what I needed to do. I needed to go kick ass and defend whatever it was that we trained for. But in pro wrestling, it's like you got to remember to exude your character. You can't focus too much on the fight, because you're your character, and you have to address the audience, and you have to establish that character, and then you have to work with the other character, and then do these stunts where you're not only keeping them safe, but yourself safe, because you can hurt yourself jumping off the top rope just the same. And it's just, there's more assets to it, whereas fighting, you just go in and you smash, right? So power slap, it's in that same family of all of it, but it's so new. I still don't even know yet. All I know is I do enjoy feeling like I could get up on that stage and do more myself than I could with fighting, because fighting, I was just so tunnel vision into what I'm going to do in the fight.
Yeah. And I mean, in power slap, there's no quote unquote The Office giving you a narrative or a script. So you get to control your own destiny, which is also, a lot funner as well.
Yes.
You know, I mean, Isabella, what do you know about her?
Not a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for somebody that you don't know? Because I mean, you're quite a decorated MMA athlete. I think you're 8-2. I'm sure you fought against people that you didn't know a thing either in MMA. So how do you prepare for somebody that you don't know?
That's probably why I don't like go and look and obsess, is because usually my coaches will handle that and like assess and then figure out where I would need to, make sure I get my strengths up and what to prepare for defensively. because, and that's why they're coaches, is because that's what they're good at. So I got to stop relying on a coach because I don't have a power slap coach that's working with me all the time. But yeah, no, I'll go check her out pretty soon. I was going to do that sometime this week. But I mean, I've never seen her slap. So, and it's not like I can defend myself. I pretty much in power slap, you have the same defense no matter who you're going against, which is, you know, engaging that whole like upper muscular area. Like you can't really get better at the one thing you've got to do. I will say what I know better this time compared to the first time is I'm going to utilize that podium to like rest my belly against, because I don't know if it's from fighting too, but it's like when someone blows at you, like you naturally like come back. So my reaction, I knew I couldn't like move my head when she hit me. I would take the slap, I could take a hit, but my body wanted to move back, and they called it a stumble. I'm like, no, dude, that wasn't a stumble. That was just me like, okay, getting out of the danger zone, you know, maintain space, like in any fight. Totally. And that's like a habit I realized that made it look not as good as it could have, because it certainly wasn't a stumble.
For sure. Yeah. How hard is it, do you think, for the league, I mean, or in MMA, to find women, you know, in the welterweight division? Is it easy for you to book fights? Is it harder to book fights? I mean, I wouldn't want to fight you.
well, they only go up to featherweight. Welterweight, I guess you could find some like regional shows that would do catchweight bouts, but it's not hard to find women that size. What's crazy is they don't allow it. They don't have those weight classes anymore for women. And I feel like they had said, I've heard them say, well, there's not enough fighters at that weight. I'm like, there are. You just have to make it and they'll come. I don't know if it's a discrimination or what, because I get down to 9% body fat every time I cut to my fight weight. You know how detrimental that is for my body? That's why I was like, can't do that. But I really don't think it's hard to find heavier women. I think it's the promoters or promotions' choice to choose not to have that size of women, which is what's cool about power slap. Is you want to see some big, impactful, huge, bigger people like hitting harder. You just hit harder when you're bigger. Like my opponent hit any of the girls in any other weight class, would have knocked them out. I'm sure of it.
For sure. I mean, that's been one of the biggest criticisms to the women's side of power slap is we haven't really seen, you know, as many knockouts. And so do you think getting into this welterweight, et cetera, do you think we're going to start seeing that narrative change a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think the bigger women can be capable of that for sure.
Awesome. I see you've got the dream catcher on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And the actually funny, the image that I have of you, it seems to get dream catcher earrings on as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What does I mean, I think it was one of your old MMA ones, to be quite honest with you. But obviously
like a weigh-in picture?
Yeah. But talk to me, what does that mean to you?
The earrings or the tattoo?
Like the symbolic of your tattoo.
Oh, well, I am Native. I'm Native American. And since I officially announced my commencement from MMA fighting, mostly due to not ever wanting to cut weight again, I have been doing my seminars and workshops back home on the reservations, because as a Native, they usually hire other Natives, and I get to teach grappling class to the youth and women's wellness in different types of retreats where I utilize a lot of breath work and just having an understanding of physical and how to take care of yourself from being an athlete, really. But what I know outside of sports is what I applied to being an athlete while being an athlete, and that helped too, which was like your practices of breathing and visualization and all that. So as a Native, that's just what I don't know what I have. I guess there's a lot of girls with dream catchers, but
yeah, no, I guess what I'm just trying to say, like, is being a woman, and being Native American, going back and being this, this qualified person to, teach women and obviously, grappling and, nutrition, exercising. Is that something that's passionate? Is it a passion that you have, something that you feel is you're now giving back to the community that helped raise you?
Absolutely. To the culture, that is in my bloodline. That's what I feel like. And then especially because I think our bloodline, we were always warriors. We were always fighters. They're so tough. This last class I taught up back home, and it was it's a small town, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like explain that, but then they learn what I teach them, and then are already like aggressive and strong and like have this understanding once they get past any shyness. But yeah, it's a passion in that I feel like I didn't get to the level that I wanted to. For example, my manager said, "You win these next two fights, I got a spot for you on contender series." I was like, no way, contender series. That's like if I get there, then that's like all this work will pay off. Right before the last fight I took, they cut that weight class. And then I took the fight, and I remember thinking, after this fight, I'm going to call it. This was the worst weight cut I ever had. Like, it was so hard. I was passing out. It just was miserable. It was getting harder and harder every weight cut that I had. And I don't think it should be allowed for any woman to have to go below 18% body fat, honestly. But then I would never have a weight class.
Of course, of course.
Well, because like some promotions, like one, go off of hydration, right? Because like when you weigh in, you have to have a certain amount of hydration on you. But just like the body fat, like your body needs fat, women's especially. Some big component for like women's health. But then I feel like that's what I'm going to do with all this information, since I didn't get to any level. And then you know what if I did get to that level? Yeah, then I did that fight. I won or I lost. Like, there's so much more. It's like every time you have a goal, what now? There's more goals. And no matter where you are, you're going to always have more goals. So I didn't get that goal, but now I have all this knowledge and all this mat time and all this experience. And it's like, what am I going to do with all this? Like, where am I going to give it? So I know what jiu-jitsu did for me when I found it. It changed my life. It just centered me. It calmed me. It made me understand this mind-body connection, like this relationship. I have this great relationship with my body. I love it so much. Like, I'm so thankful for all it does for me. And now if I'm not fighting, I'm like, what do I do with it? So hell yeah, like getting to share that, especially with kids who've never even heard of it, then that's even more so. But especially in the self-defense classes too, like the women are like, oh, this is all it takes to like get away from someone's grip. Like, yeah. But more so the confidence and knowing that keeps you from ever even having to do it. You know, so just that attitude, that demeanor alone helps.
Awesome, Jeslen. I appreciate you joining me. It was great to get to know a little bit more about you and get your story, told and heard. And
wait, we didn't talk power slap though. It was all me blabbing.
You're still good? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All good. Power slap related. We talked a little bit about your training. Obviously, with your injury, has kind of kept you, subdued at bay. But of your MMA training and your experience that you've done, what specifically are you using to translate over to power slap?
From MMA to power slap, the training of, my face is tough. Like, I've been punched really hard, so I feel like there is that scar tissue too. Like, my whole shape of my face has changed in the last few years from getting hit, getting punched. So that alone just translates over. But understanding body mechanics and follow through really helps.
How much of it is untraining yourself from the stepping side of it?
Like when you're throwing a punch?
Yeah, because obviously you probably train to rotate through.
Yeah.
How hard is it mentally to get out of that?
I thought it would be harder, and it would be harder if it were a punch, but it's just it's a slap, so it's a different movement than coming here to here. It's out here, so it's just like learning a whole different movement, like learning a dance move. It's like the tango. How hard is it to learn salsa, where they're different dances? So you might have some habits or style from the other, but
yeah. Is there anybody in power slap that you're trying to emulate in terms of your offensive slap?
I love the way lots of people slap, but I really think that receiving the slap. Oh my God, I just brain farted. The champion, the way he stands there is so like strong, and like it's like when he gets slapped, you don't even see it move.
Yeah, which division are we talking?
Oh, what's his name?
Damien DeBell, heavyweight.
Who?
Damien DeBell. Dane
No.
Biernes, super heavyweight. Wolverine, light heavy.
No, small.
Robert Trujillo, lightweight.
Yeah, Trujillo. Trujillo. I love the way he's. I love everything about the way he stands and just is, and he just looks like a. I almost cuss. He just like looks like a wall, like just a wall, but he's not like trying too hard. He's just there, like this like impending pillar of doom that you can't break down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I brain fart on that. Sorry, Robert. I adore you and you're a great coach.
I give Robert a hard time all the time, but yeah, he's definitely a good coach, and glad that he's part of part of the power slap scene and being able to give the education out that goes along with it. I mean, what do you want to do with power slap? Like, is this just a one fight at a time thing, or do you kind of see yourself, being here for a longer stint?
Well, I know there's a lot of power slappers vying for that spotlight and that attention, and a belt. But I just feel like after fighting and pro wrestling, I don't know. I don't know how to. Okay, first of all, I do want to continue. I would love to get a contract, and I would love to like have fights scheduled, and I would love to be able to travel on for power slap fights. I would love that. Bottom line. But as far as what I internally want to get from it, I feel like what I've gotten to do with my life already makes me feel fulfilled. So I don't need it to give me any kind of fulfillment, but I certainly don't want to downplay that it's not it's not freaking cool. It's awesome. But I noticed there's a difference between some others that are just like, I'm a slapper, I'm a power slapper, and they're just, and good. Like, good for them.
For sure. I mean, being an entertainer, being a multi-sport athlete, I don't know, what do I have you at? I've got 37 years old. Obviously, you're not a spring chicken in that regard with the amount of, years of experience that you have. You kind of feel like you're on kind of that bought time. Is that why you just have such a calm, cool demeanor to yourself?
Yeah, because I've lived. I've lived.
That's awesome. I mean, I think a lot of people, especially in power slaps, could probably take some words of advice from you on that one.
Yeah. I mean, but like everything's just a game. You just got to play the game, enjoy the game, have fun with it, try to beat the game, win at it, and then you're on to the next thing. Like it's nothing. There's so much more. There's so much to life. There's so much more to do, and there's so much out there. It's like sometimes people tend to get stuck and like that's who they are, and it becomes their only identity. And then when it's gone, then they're lost. They don't really know who they are. So in the meantime, just know it's a fun game and then enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the game of power slap, you have the offensive side, you have the defensive side. Sometimes the beauty of power slap and slap fighting is the simplicity of the sport. You kind of take that same mentality into it that, you don't have to overcomplicate it.
That's a new train of thought just recently in my life. Is like I was always an overthinker. I still work on it because I overanalyze, and I always just overdid it. In fighting, it was that I wanted to prove myself. I wanted to prove my coaches. I wanted to really do something with it and go somewhere and be somebody. But power slap is perfect for that because you can go somewhere and be somebody, etc. You certainly can, but yeah, it doesn't require that stress on your body, especially with the weight cuts, but the hard, arduous training. So it's actually fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. For someone who didn't see your first match, what can they expect when they see you get up there on stage?
They can expect me to win.
In what type of fashion?
I I don't know. I'll have to check the chick out. If she's got a nice jawbone, then we'll know. But I'm going to try to knock her out. That's the goal, right? But all I know is I'm not going to lose, and I certainly won't get knocked out.
Have you ever been knocked out in your life?
Only in a sparring session with. Why am I brain farting on names? I've been knocked out with a head kick on a sparring session with a beautiful, tall New Zealand MMA fighter that also fought for PFL, and she was a kickboxer. Like, that was her thing. Striking wasn't my strongest. Well, if I had her on the ground, she's flat as a pancake. Yeah. But in stand up, like, I just was backing up, and her big old beautiful long leg just went think, and we watched it on the camera in the gym. She didn't knock me over. It was just like a perfectly placed, like right here, like her toe just deep. Gotcha. And I was out for it. Frank Mir was there. He's like, I was getting worried you were out for over a minute. I'm like, uh-oh. And I had my debut MMA pro fight like 2 weeks later, and they're like, don't fight. And I'm like, I'm just gonna have to fight and not get hit. So in that pro fight, I fought and I didn't get hit to risk that.
Amazing. Yeah. So you brought up the name Frank Mir, so you must fight out of Las Vegas, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Did you get to know Frank very well? Was he an inspiration in your career?
He's a friend. He's a good friend and a great coach. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, the demographic of Power Slap skews a little bit younger, so they may not know who Frank Mir is, but
I know, huh? He's a legend. If you guys don't know who Frank Mir is,
yeah.
Well, I am the first amateur, when I was fighting as an amateur fighter, that Mike Pyle ever cornered, and he's also a legend, like pioneer, Las Vegas fighter. Excellent coach. Yeah. First MMA coach that had me lay down after hard training, lay down in the middle of the cage and run through my fight. He talked about my fight, what we're going to do, and I closed my eyes and visualized it for like 15 or 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, that really works. And then that took me on a whole, thanks, Mike Pyle. Mr. Awesome. Mullet. He always had a mullet back then.
Oh, really? Nice. Could we ever see Frank out at Power Slap to see you fight?
To watch? Or to fight?
Yeah, to watch.
Oh, yeah.
He's an old man now.
Yeah, him and his wife. Maybe the kids want to come. Well, because I trained with Bella. So he was there a lot when Bella was training with the team.
Okay.
His daughter, superstar wrestler. But yeah, let's get him.
Let's get him.
Who else do you want there? Who would you want to see there?
Who would I want to see from Las Vegas?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big Sean Strickland fan. I like Sean.
Yeah, I like Sean. So you want him to be there?
Yeah, I like Sean. Yeah, Sean's always good TV.
Yeah.
Just put a mic in his mouth and you never know what's going to happen.
And what's cool about Sean is, like, it's always been that way. Like, sometimes people, like, get into position and then suddenly realize they're getting all this attention and camera time and they change. He's always been that way. Like, always. But the only thing that was different is, like, before he got as big as he is, people were annoyed by it. Now they're like, oh, Sean.
Too funny. I guess it shows you what success does for you. I guess you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, but he always has. That's why, yep.
For sure. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining me. Thank you for giving me...
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is a slap, if you were slap fighting, what person's slap would you want to take after? Or emulate, or try to be like?
Yeah. I mean, specifically for you or for
you.
Me?
For you.
For me? I mean, Damien the Bell, the heavyweight champion, I think has the smoothest, strike in Power Slap. A guy whose body is just built for the sport, incredibly long arms, has great rotation through his core. He has one strike. He's able to deliver it with a ton of power, always on the button, very, very clean. I think he's really, the tape you'd want to play at one of these combines when you're looking at guys to put an offensive strike together. So,
do you think that a lot of it has to do with a person's body naturally, though?
100%. I think the genetics and just the insertions and, how his limbs, kind of get together. And I think it has a lot to do with it for sure.
Okay, because like, for example, for MMA fighting, you can kind of have your own style and you have your own strengths. Like not everyone's going to be a long, lanky grappler or a short, stocky wrestler. But you can adjust to fight your fight. With power slap, it's just one movement, the same movement. So you can't really make it your fight. So would you say that a certain body type has more advantage than others?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you look at it, I think there's, speed is one element. I think power is another element. And I think depending on how your body makeup is, you can change some of those angles and trajectories. Like think of an architect or an engineer, and you start looking at angles. And how can you put your muscles in a position where they're in that strength curve? Because each muscle has like a bell curve. It's weaker at lengthening and at full contraction. So it peaks up. And so in the center of that muscle, so how can you align your muscles based off your body type to kind of be in that power band
and optimize that, huh?
So we see guys like Ryan Phillips as an example, who was in the heavyweight division, fought Damien DeBell for, the title match at Power Slap number 6. Didn't have, the longer, lengthier arms. He was a bit more of a stockier guy, wider shoulders. And he uses more of a rotation. So when he hits you, he's actually looking this way as his shoulder translates through.
So, but he must have perfect accuracy and then turns his head.
Well, no, so he leans. So he's already looking past and through because he's trying to hit through you. He's not trying to watch here. So he's already going and turning and pulling the shoulder through and trying to push you directly.
Yeah. That's what I want to practice because I feel like I have to where I got to hit and I got to keep my eye on the target. But when you get it, you don't have to. That whole turning that head, everything's going to go that way.
Absolutely.
Ryan Phillips. Wait, what was the first guy's name you said?
Damien DeBell, the champion.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. And then I don't know. Johnny Magna, he's a relatively newcomer, but he
was part of my combine and I thought he was a pro wrestler, isn't he?
He is, correct. Yeah, but he's got a beautiful slap on him as well.
Yeah, he sure stepped in pretty clean. I don't know, he's a brand new guy, and then all of a sudden he's getting all the attention.
Yeah, well, two matches, 2 KOs, definitely get you some love.
That'll do it.
Sure. Yeah,
that'll do it. Why do you think the women aren't getting any KOs?
I just think it has to do with a power thing, to be honest. Especially in the lighter weights, 115, 125, and I'm sure I'll get in shit for saying this, but I just think that, the human body can withstand a certain amount of impact, and I think it's harder to generate the amount of power that's needed with an open palm strike to actually put somebody away. And I'm not taking away from it. There's girls like PETA from Las Vegas at 115 who's just an absolute bulldog. But I just think it's
my
more.
Friend. She's actually the girl who helped me with the weight cut, by the way. She walked me through my weight cuts. And because she's a woman, we had to do it differently for a women's body than what I was doing before.
100%, yeah. So I just think it's a bit of that, and I'm sure the button's a little bit different on women too, just of, kind of and they just haven't been able to really find it yet because we haven't really seen it. Sheena Bathory, in the early trials of Power Slap was the first time we've seen a KO, and we really haven't seen one since.
Sheena,
correct. Yeah.
Who's also my friend from Session Wrestling. That's how I met her. And then KO, same. But, that's a whole underground of when us getting paid by men to beat them up, basically. That's how I know them. That's a different topic, different podcast.
For sure. I guess it's still pro wrestling of a different kind.
No, it's fighting. It's changed a lot since the 80s when people would find the women in the back of muscle magazines called apartment wrestling. But now because women are actually trained and getting good, my clients like to actually go competitive, or they just want me to use them as a punching bag and just beat them down.
Gotcha. Yeah. There's a whole plethora of opportunities out there. I think it's one of the best times to be alive.
I have been living that, that's for sure. But it's a roller coaster.
For sure. Well, that's the entertainment business. It's a roller coaster no matter what it is. You're always, waiting on that next gig to get booked. And I mean, God bless America that you can do whatever you want and get paid for it.
You know what? That's true. You know what? Thank you for reminding me of that. Because like sometimes I'm like, but then what am I going to, like, what would I choose or prefer? Nothing. So God bless America and my capable body.
Absolutely.